that is now released. It is on the Public Policy Forum's website. Hopefully you did read a little bit about it in the newspaper yesterday. This is actually the sequel to an earlier report called Making Ends Meet that was released in September. And I guess I would tell you that much like The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2, you really have to view these two reports in tandem. The first one, which also is available on the website, does a very deep dive into the financial condition of the City of Milwaukee. And while it's again another 60 or 70 page report, it's a relatively easy read. And I'd urge you to look at it because I know that one of the foremost questions that is going to arise when we talk about the need to at least contemplate changes to the city's revenue structure is, well, what about the expenditure side of the equation? And that's a very legitimate question. This first report really dives into why the city is facing the financial challenges it's facing and provides some very beneficial context. But On Money indeed is dedicated to looking at the revenue structure. And let me tell you why. I just want to very briefly go over with you two of the key findings of this first report. What this slide shows you is intergovernmental revenue that flows into the City of Milwaukee's general fund. So the city's general fund is about $600 million, and the largest revenue source for the general fund is intergovernmental revenue. Of that $264 million or so, about $220 million of that in 2015 came from a single source, and that's the state's shared revenue program. So what this shows you, if you're a business owner, if you're a citizen, pretty easy to understand. If the largest revenue source for your budget never goes up, and what we are seeing is in nominal terms, the fact that intergovernmental revenue for the city in the general fund in 2015 was exactly the same as it was in 1995. So when your foremost source of revenue doesn't go up, therein lies a problem. Now, the second largest source of revenue in the city's general fund is the property tax. And the property tax indeed has increased by a little over $100 million in the 1995 to 2015 timeframe. When we do adjust for inflation, we really get a more complete picture. Again, if the intergovernmental revenue had increased simply at the rate of CPI between 95 and 2015, it would have stood at about $415 million in 2015. And the property tax levy increase, a little better context. Yes, it has outrun the rate of inflation, but not by a lot. And essentially, we can have a long conversation about the use of the property tax, and we will. But really, that's part of the problem here, is that when city officials do have the need to secure at least inflationary revenue growth, they have no control over that first largest source, state funding. They have some control over the property tax. They have some control, of course, over their ability to issue certain types of fees. And that's really where they have had to rely for their revenue growth.